There you go.
Yep. Good evening. I'd like to call the Board of Selectmen's meeting of May 2nd to order. And we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Carr, can you lead us?
Absolutely. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The item on the agenda tonight is a public hearing for a dog nuisance, and I will read the notice of hearing. The Board of Selectmen will hold a hearing on Thursday, May 2nd, 2013 at 7 p.m. in room 103 at the Littleton Town Offices, 37 Shattuck Street, Littleton, Massachusetts, in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 140, Section 157, to hear a complaint of dangerous dogs owned and kept by Rosemarie Giavitorino at 261 Goldsmith Street, Littleton, Mass. The complaint filed by Chief of Police John Kelly is attached along with a copy of the controlling statute. In addition to that information that's been passed to us, we have received some background information from Town Council. With that, I will turn it over to the Chief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As you stated, this is a hearing before the Board of Selectmen, who has control of such hearings, dangerous dogs or nuisance dogs. This is the result of a number of incidents over the last year or so involving the three animals that Mrs. DiGianventorio, I said it wrong, owns. After discussion with her, the dog owner, we have come to agreement on most of the resolutions presented to the board, except one area. The resolution for this incident, if you go to the final page, my recommendations, and this is number one is statutory language that the dogs will be confined to the premises of the keeper of the dogs, provided, however, that confined shall mean securely confined indoors or confined outdoors in a securely enclosed and locked pen or dog run area upon the premises of the owner or the keeper, that the fence of the enclosure is secured to the ground in a manner that will not allow the dogs to dig under it and escape, and provide further that within the confines of such pen or dog run, a dog house or proper shelter from the elements shall be provided to protect the dogs. We made an adjustment within that requirement. The statute actually states that the fence has to be, or the state statute recommends the fence be buried 2 feet. Under the circumstances here, I believe that would be an unsurmountable requirement at this time for the animal owner. Okay. So we have had discussion that she will in fact secure the fence to the ground so the dogs can't get under it. Number two, when removed from the premises of the owner or the premises of the person keeping the dog shall be securely and humanely muzzled. We have agreed to strike that at this time. However, the animal will be, or the three animals will be required to be leashed as stated and under the control of the owner. The leash will be equal to or greater than 300 pounds tensile strength and no more than 3 feet. So when the animal is being transferred from the home to a vehicle or out for a walk, those are the parameters. Number three, the dog shall not be left outside unless there is someone present at the home to monitor and take action related to any nuisance barking or howling that any or all of them take part in. If one or more of the dogs has been barking, howling for more than 5 minutes continuously, they shall be brought into the house. And then number four, that unless an owner or keeper of the dog provides evidence that a veterinarian is of the opinion that the dog is unfit for alterations because of a medical condition, the owner or keeper of the dog shall cause the dogs to be altered so that the dog shall not be reproductively active. We've already spoken about that, and the owner told me previously that she had planned on doing that. We spoke today.
Okay.
So those are the 4 areas of agreement, with one exception. The fence that borders Goldsmith Street in her yard was replaced by the town during the reconstruction of Goldsmith Street. So she is requesting that the town assist her in securing the front portion of the fence to the ground.
It used to be in the ground.
Yeah. That was state. That was replaced by the state, right?
Yeah, it was a state project, not a town project.
What are we talking, some metal stakes?
If you want me to facilitate that, I'll facilitate that.
Okay. Now, my question is, was more than one dog involved in the incidents?
There are a total of 3 dogs. There used to be 5, my
Yeah.
understanding. Yes.
Puppies.
There are a total of 3 dogs now. 2 are presently licensed. 1 is just on the cusp of turning 6 months and will be licensed.
Okay.
So everything is squared away in that regard. One of the most recent bites, the dog was identified.
Okay.
The other one of the most recent bites, all 3 dogs were around the party, and we were not able to determine which dog was in fact the biter. The dogs in both instances were quarantined by our animal inspector who's present, and she inspected them after that 10-day period, and everything was good to go. So that's why, because of that unknown factor, that's why I wrote this, treating them as individuals and also as a pack.
So this applies to all dogs at the first?
That's correct.
Okay.
The second, I'm sorry, the first one happened on my property,
Okay.
not off the property.
Okay. All right. No, I just want to make sure that it's clear that it's happening to all dogs.
Yes.
And so I would assume that according to this first condition, so it's going to be inspected by you, Chief, to see that it meets these standards, and then
I would
other portions.
request that I or the animal inspector be tasked with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Since
I
I know they're
will
not
want-
they're not
Once
residents.
again, I'll
and-
facilitate
yeah.
that.
Okay. All right. Does the board have anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to ask, what kind of dogs are they?
Antelope pokers, they are a type of Swiss mountain dogs. They're used for herding cows.
And me,
Right.
Are they a big dog or?
No,
60 pounds.
they're related to the Bernese mountain dog.
That's a big dog. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, true. They're not that size.
Right.
Are they naturally aggressive?
They herd cows.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, and they occasionally will nip the ankles.
Mhm.
So, that's what they do. But they're, our first one used to go to Shaker Lane all the time and just lay underneath the swings as the kids would play. And they throw the ball and you go get it and each get a turn. Very smart dog.
Okay.
Don't know why.
All right. So I'm under the understanding that this is an agreement that these 4 conditions,
With the exceptions noted.
but the inspections, they are. those
There
are
will be an
included, yeah.
agreement, let's
Yeah.
say, in terms of us processing it, that you have your original proposal, which has now been modified
Mhm.
to reach an agreement.
Correct.
You will provide that to us, that we will make that, so if the board goes to accept that agreement as a disposition of tonight's hearing, then that document will be entered as our
I
actions.
I am going to assume that it's probably my bitch that did the nipping. And
Oh.
she will be the one that is going to definitely be spayed immediately.
Well, we're going
And the puppy is probably going to a different home, I'm hoping.
Okay.
So,
And it would also be part of the agreement, it would be standard that that if the agreement is violated, that would be cause for us to reconvene the hearing.
Okay.
Any input from the inspectors?
Animal control, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't believe so at this time. I've had constant contact with them throughout this, and they have had coordination with the state rabies coordinator, excuse me, because we had a little difficulty getting a hold of the owner for a couple days to determine shots and so forth. So they've been a great assistance in regards to this and every other dog issue that we have as a result of our cooperative agreement with the town of Boxborough for animal control.
So Keith, under this, since we have an agreement, do we have to issue an order about
No.
the nuisance or dangerous
No,
dog?
what you would do is you would vote to accept the agreement offered by the chief of police between the town and
Mrs. Gian Ventorio.
Mrs. Gian Ventorio as a
G,
resolution.
or is it
The-
D?
DI.
Yeah,
Okay.
just on the hearing notice.
Yeah, it's
The attached notice has
yeah,
this,
yeah.
yeah.
Accept. So, the motion that I'm kind of coming up with is, this is just a first run at it.
So this is not a motion?
No, this is just a first run. Move that the Board of Selectmen vote to accept the agreement as negotiated for the complaint regarding dogs owned by Rosemary
Rosemary, Gian Ventorio.
D.G.M. Vittorio,
Correct.
261 Goldsmith Street, to be furnished by the chief with modifications. Is that all right?
Yeah, as provided by the chief of
As
police.
provided by the chief.
Been modified here. Which the modifications include that there's no muzzling, that the fence will be reviewed and approved by yourself, and that the fence along the Goldsmith Street will be secured by you or your office. Those are the three changes? Okay.
Yeah, we're ready?
I think so.
All right.
Anything else? Do we have to close the hearing first?
Make a motion, close the hearing.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. All right, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion. Move that the Board of Selectmen vote to accept the agreement for the complaint regarding dogs owned by Rosemary Dijon Vittorio at 261 Goldsmith Street, as provided by the Chief of Police.
I'd second that.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Unanimous?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chief.
Hearing is.
Thank you.
hearing is closed.
Thank you for your cooperation in this matter.
And the meeting.
Gian Ventorio.
Dijon Vittorio.
You know what else is?
I love the way you said it.
You want to?
It's easier when you don't look at it. What we need to do, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Gian Ventorio.
It's easier if you don't look at it.